Hi there. All right, we're gonna make a talisman of Mikael, who is an angel, archangel of the sun on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. It's number 6. So we know what that means, that we want a 6. We're gonna do it with a star today, so we're gonna add a star. So we're kind of coming back up in complexity little by little again. So I'm going to start off with a square of paper. So since this is 8.5 by 11, I'm just going to cut it down to 8.5 by 8.5. Make sure I really did that. Yes, I did. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm in the shot for you guys, so I don't have to re-record it or something. Alright, so then we know the next point of making a star talisman is finding the center of our square. We just do that by going through the diagonal and going to the half, which on an 8.5-inch sheet of paper is at the 6-inch point. Get a little sharp. So right here. Then I always just check and make sure that it's centered, which it is. Okay. So for a 6-inch circle, which is what I want, I line up the middle dot with the half of 6, which is 3, and then I make another little mark at the 6, and then I can put my compass down, dial that in a bit, and make a circle. So I think what I'll do, I'll call that the top, and then I will leave a little opening. It's kind of a big opening, but that's okay. I'll leave an opening, and then let's go ahead and make, while we're at it, let's add a 1/2 inch to this for some god names. Again, we'll dial that in. If none of this makes sense, go to the level 1 talisman video series, and you can watch through in order, and you'll make it. A lot of this will make more sense because I'm not going through as many of the nuts and bolts of what we're doing. Okay, so we've got our double circle. It's the center. It's this is the main circle. This one on the outside the measurement doesn't really matter as much. Okay, so now let's take and find the cardinal direction. So we're just going to take our sheet of paper and we're going to mark the halfway point, which is 4 1/4 inches, since it's an 8.5-inch square of paper. That makes sense, right? Half of that is 4 1/4. This just makes things easier when we're trying to do protractor kind of stuff. Okay, now I'm going to, let's see, how big is this protractor? So I'm going to do this right in the middle of this center circle here. Between the two, I should say. I'm going to make a little tick right at the cardinal points right in the center here. And that way it's just easier to see where we are when we're trying to measure degrees and stuff like that. I know this sounds complicated if you're just starting, but it's not. And again, if you're just starting, why don't you go to one of the beginning videos? That'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so now we're gonna, since this is our top, I'm gonna, in fact, on this cardinal point, even though it's open and it's obvious that's the top, I'm gonna turn that top into an arrow, so that always reminds me where the top of the talisman is. So I line the center up and I zero it out at this top, and since 360 divided by 6 is 60, I'm going to make a mark at the 60, and I put an arrow on that too. That way I can differentiate that mark with the other little guide marks that I've made. 60. And line up the last point that we just made with 0, and then measure another 60. That's a cardinal point, and that'll turn into an arrow. Line that up with the 0, And then another 60. And we got one more to make 6, I believe, if I counted right. 60. All right, so there we go. Now, I'm going to, okay, let's just make the star. I'm going to try not to press so hard on my star. Let me bring this one in real quick. I forgot one. I forgot one. Okay. So we're going to try to do a lighter line on these. It's still kind of heavy. If you're heavy-handed like I am, you can also choose a better lead that's more appropriate to your style of pressure, because I am an Aries. I'm going to leave this all open. I'm an Aries, so I tend to with everything I do. Okay, now here's the bottom, the downward facing, oops, get in the shot, guy. The downward facing triangle, and again, I'm not gonna close that up because I want to keep that open so we can do some trapping. See, I'm already pressing too hard, and I barely pressed it all. I missed my mark here, but that's okay. I can fudge it. It's gonna be fine. This kind of stuff is okay if it's not exact. We are not making a missile or something. With explosives. All right, so there's our star. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this eraser and I'm gonna just lighten everything up a bit. I'm gonna just ghost it up just a little bit. I want only a ghost line, so that way it doesn't show through as much on my dark blue. Since it's dark blue, it's not that big of a deal, but I like it if it's a little bit clearer with the planetary colors. I don't need these arrows anymore, although I could keep them for the time being. I'm gonna keep them for the time being, actually. That's fine. See? And then I do that on this circle too. I don't want to really over erase, because then it becomes more like freehand, and then it becomes really bad. But we just want to take the darkness out of there, so that when I color it in with this blue, I don't have that black line underneath it. Now, since this is a nice dark blue that I'm using, this really is not all that necessary, but I just want to show you that this is another way to do that. There's always another way to do stuff. All right, so let's do it. Here we go. So I'm going to leave this open at the top. I should sharpen this. Good. I'm going to leave this opening at the top. Just going to kind of follow the ghost line that's on the paper to the best of our ability. And then we can color that in darker if we like, which I usually do, but I may not have time to do that today. And I also like to, I'm trying to make these videos as short as possible now too, because I recognize that not everybody has time to watch these long videos. So I'm breaking them up into shorter videos, and that way it's easier. If you want to watch the other one, you can, or you can watch it later. It's just easier to keep your place. It's just 2 separate videos. Or 3, actually, if you count the Psalm videos, which are really... Now remember, okay, the talismanic practice is its own practice, and you can use only this. You can work only talismans, never dealing with the Psalms, never dealing with even with angels. You could just do it as, instead of as a Mikael talisman, you could do it as a talisman of the sun. And there's many different ways to do that, which we're not going to go into right now. But even if you're doing angel magic, you don't ever have to do the Psalms. That's not necessary. So that's good to know, right? But they are very complementary, those practices. They really do complement each other quite well. So you can use them together. And they're one of the few magical practices that really do go well together. A lot of times magic doesn't mix and match so well. Psalm and angel magic are sort of like peas and carrots. You know, they go really, really well together. They are the mirepoix of occultism. You can do, you know what mirepoix is? That's that onions, what is it? Onions, celery, and carrots, I think that is. Is that right? God, you'd think that I have been cooking for so long. But it's similar. You can use the, God, look what I did. I like made this real thin and this real thick, but that's okay. It's gonna be fine. Okay, now I can take these things out of there. I know which is the top now. I can keep that out of there. All right. I don't even think I need this anymore because we're going to do cross quarterlies, but I'm not going to use a protractor. I'm just going to use the diagonal corners of these guys. So I'll do this and this. Make a little mark outside this outer circle, right in line with this diagonal on the sheet. And then I take my ruler just so that it's kind of consistent, and I do a 1/4 inch each side. If that makes sense. I line it up with one of these inch marks, and then I put a 1/4 inch on each side. And it's just an easy way to get those cross quarterlies. It may not be as exact as using a protractor, but it gets the job done. And these there's no formula involved with these. These are simply just to help keep things looking tidy. So, and the circle is anything but tidy because I overdid it on my erasing and leaving the ghost line, and I really literally gave up the ghost on this outer circle. But see, when you do stuff like that, it's okay. See, look, this is really thin and this is really thick. It's crazy. It's all right. And then we can just get rid of all these little excess markings. See, you don't have to worry if you're not super artistically inclined. It's still powerful. You just don't have to worry about it, okay? If your stuff looks kind of not perfect, it's not going to affect a darn thing. All right, so I think we're ready to put our intention in. So I thought for Mikael, we would work on getting our priorities high in line, so that we are successful at whatever it is that we want to do. And it doesn't necessarily mean business success. It can be, but if we get our priorities really set. So I thought we would use maybe certainty as a power word, and I thought success would be a good power word too, because success doesn't necessarily only mean financial and business success. It can mean success in many different ways. So, before we do that, let's cross this a little bit. Let's get rid of these hard angles here. Let's just use the solar symbol today. Why not? That rounds it off nice and easily, and we can add a little bit, even a little bit more of that solar vibration by doing that. That'll work. Oops, except for I forgot one. Ooh, and I'm not very consistent with my, that's all right. All right, so all viewers. We've got all viewers, peace. Certainty. And success. There we go. Okay, then we can trap this up. Trappy, trappy. Let's do this first. Let's close you first. And then we can trap this guy in there a little bit easier. I left a huge opening. A big gaping hole in my star. All right, and then let's put the solar symbols on this triangle. And the Leo symbols on this triangle, since that's what he rules. Okay, and then we'll just put the tetragrammaton using English characters. Let's do, I think we'll do cursive Y, H, V, H, Y, H, V, H, Y, H, V, H, and Y, H. You could also use the Sephirotic God name on there, which is Yehovah or Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, Eloveh Da'at, Eloveh Da'at. We'll close this up a little bit. Okay, let's see. How far are we from the edge here? We are... Boy, we could take a whole half an inch off of there and still be kind of styling, I think, if I didn't screw up my measurements too much. We'll see. We'll take this half inch off around. Tighten this guy up a little bit so it's not quite so big of a piece of paper. So I opted not to use the harmonic today. I just did the 6-inch circle. If I wanted to, I could have made a 3-inch circle using that harmonic. And we talk a lot about harmonics in that first series of videos, so you might want to watch that if that means nothing to you. And you want it to mean something to you. If you care. Okay. You don't ever have to do any of this stuff. This is just for those of you who are interested in how to do these talismans, which I find absolutely fun, fantastic, and powerful. But if you just want the benefits of it without going through all this rigmarole and you still want to make talismans, make that basic talisman, a real easy one. You don't have to measure. All you need is like a jar lid or a glass or something that's round, a piece of paper, and a pencil. Doesn't have to be the right colors, doesn't have to be anything. Or you can do it freehand if you don't have a form at all. You can just do your best circle. And it'll work just fine if it's not a perfect circle. I promise, promise, promise it'll be just fine. All right. Now let's make a nice big solar symbol around here. I think big is nice. Since we have room, we may as well utilize the space. Don't you think? I think. There she is. Okay, so let me get some perfumes and we will consecrate this. All right, and then we don't want to have more than 3 active talismans going for the same person. And since I'm doing it for all of us, this is probably the oldest one that I've got going, a Mercury talisman. This is peace, understanding, and wisdom. So if you just take a moment as we deactivate, allow the thoughts of peace, understanding, and wisdom to permeate every aspect of your aura as they are installed permanently in your energy body. Just feel that. Take a nice deep breath. You can just toss it. It's once you've ripped it through the circle, it's deactivated. All right, so we are going to let's activate this talisman using these first, and then we'll use the perfumes and the candles. Okay, we'll go at it that way. There's more than one way to do things, but I do need my glasses. Here they are. Oh. Okay, so first thing we got to do is call on Mikael. So we're going to go around in order on his square. All right, this is a bit boring for many of us, but it is extremely effective. So with each number, feel his presence more and more intensely. Okay, let's do this together. We have 1, 2, 3. And just keep looking for it. If you find it before me, just hang out for me. Where's 4? Did I miss one? Did I miss 4? Oh, here it is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 'Just keep looking for it. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, so that has called the presence of Mikael into our space. Now, if you're in a circle, that's fine. You can be. You do not have to be. Uh-oh, what did I do? I put a number where a letter belongs. Ha! I do that all the time. Let's fix that. Ultramarine. It's Copenhagen. Here it is. So I put 11 instead of K. Here's our K. Okay. So all we do is we take each thing that's in our star and we find them on the letter square and we spell them out one by one. So all viewers, God, it's messy. It's so funny, but it's just as effective. I promise it is. ALLVIEWERS. We have peace, PEACE, certainty, CERTAINT. Why? Certainty, success, SUCCESS, SS. Now, an interesting thing to note is if you're a horrible speller, it's okay. You can do it phonetically on here. Do not worry about a thing. All right, so I could have cleansed my space, but I forgot to. So let's do it now. But Mikael is going to clean it for us. So we've charged this talisman preliminarily. We're going to go ahead and invite the light of the universe to imbue and cleanse this space. I'm using some Florida water from Peru. I'll go ahead and use a little Van while I'm at it. And we're gonna give it one spray of Van for peace, certainty, and success. We're calling upon the Archangel Mikael to bless us with peace, certainty, and success. We give 2 orange blossoms for him today. Usually I will do this first and then light the candle and then do this, but I wanted to show you that if you do things backwards in this system, it's extremely forgiving. Even see when I forget to cleanse and stuff like that, it's no big deal. It really isn't. Because the angels themselves will purify any space when you call them in. So the purification is just as a sign of respect that we've done our part. So if you forget that, it's not going to ruin the effectiveness of anything, unlike a lot of other kinds of magic. All right. So we call upon the Archangel Mikael. We ask that he be here with us now and enter the lives of all viewers, and that no matter what it is that we are looking for, we're asking that our priorities be enlightened so that we know which things are the most important to focus our mind on, and we are asking that bring us peace and certainty and success. And we know that we will have that certainty because we will listen to your guidance and your voice and your direction. We know that our highest plans, our highest ideals, our highest goals are just almost as nothing compared to what God wants for us, and you know what God wants for us better than we do, and so we are open and receptive to allowing our goals to be upgraded and upgraded and upgraded so that we have the manifestations of our goals be much better than anything we could have ever hoped for, that will surpass our very fondest dreams. And for this we are so very grateful, and together we all say blessed be. All right, we're going to go do a psalm, so I hope you join us over in the psalm video. Blessed be.